All right, let's dive into the glittering, champagne-soaked, and really truly tragic world of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. It's a novel that pretty much defines the Roaring Twenties, right? But underneath all that jazz and glamour, it's really digging into a huge, timeless question about the American dream itself.
You know, before you even get to the first chapter, Fitzgerald hits you with this. It's a little piece of a poem, and honestly, it's the key to the whole book. This isn't just a pretty quote. It's basically the playbook for Jay Gatsby. He's the guy who's going to wear the gold hat. He's going to bounce as high as he can, putting on this massive performance, all for one person.
So, to really get to the heart of what makes this book tick, we're going to break it down into 5 big ideas. We'll start with the shimmering world of illusions. Then, we'll talk about that famous green light. We'll take a trip through the moral wasteland hiding in plain sight, figure out the real reason for Gatsby's crazy parties, and, this is a big one, look at the whole thing through our narrator's not-so-trustworthy eyes. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's Long Island, summer of 1922, a time of absolutely dizzying wealth, where it felt like the party would just never stop. But, as you'll see, this whole glittering world is built on something about as real and sturdy as Gatsby himself.
In this book, where you live is who you are. It's that simple. You've got these two communities, West Egg and East Egg. East Egg, that's where the old money lives. People like the Buchanans, who inherited their wealth. Their houses are these graceful white palaces. Then across the bay, you've got West Egg. This is the new money. And this is our guy, Gatsby. His place is huge, it's flashy, it's brand new. It's trying so hard to look like East Egg. And to the old money crowd, that's the whole problem.
And that whole tension between West Egg and East Egg, between new money and old, it all gets focused down into a single tiny point of light. It's the novel's most powerful symbol, representing everything Gatsby wants but just can't seem to grab.
Now think about this. This is the first time we really see Jay Gatsby, and he's not hosting one of his epic parties. He's alone, in the dark, and he's trembling, reaching out for something. He's not the cool, mysterious millionaire. He's just this lonely guy, completely consumed by this one desperate hope.
So what is this green light? Well, it's way more than just a light on a dock. For Gatsby, it's everything. It's Daisy, the woman he loves, living over there in East Egg. It's the past he's trying to rewind and get back. And it's the perfect future he's imagined, a future he thinks he can have if he can just reach that light.
And this right here is the central tragedy of the whole story. He does it. After all those years, he finally gets Daisy. But the second he does, poof, the magic is gone. The dream, once you actually get it, is never as good as it was in your head. The enchanted green light just becomes a green light. And you can feel how empty that must have been for him.
Okay, let's pull back from the mansions and the big romantic dream for a minute. Because between the fancy eggs and New York City, there's this other place. A grim, gray, forgotten place that tells you everything you need to know about the world these characters live in. So let's start with a beautiful image, right? The world of Tom and Daisy. It's clean, it's white, it's glittering, a world so rich it doesn't have to deal with anything ugly. But to get from their perfect palace to the city, they have to drive through this, the Valley of Ashes. It's literally an industrial dump, a place where everything, including the people, is covered in gray dust. It's the ugly byproduct of all that wealth, a place the rich just pass through with their windows rolled up, trying not to look too closely. And looking down over this whole bleak scene is one of the strangest, most haunting images in literature. It's not a church steeple, not a statue. It's a giant, faded billboard for an eye doctor. Just these huge blue eyes and glasses watching. So what's the deal with these eyes? Well, in a world where people like Tom and Daisy do whatever they want with zero consequences, these eyes become a kind of stand-in for a God who isn't there anymore. They see it all, the cheating, the lies, the hit and run, but they don't do anything. Because they're just an ad. There's no judgment here, just an empty stare over a moral garbage dump. And this is just heartbreaking. George Wilson, the poor mechanic who lives in the Valley of Ashes, he looks up at this billboard and truly believes it's the eyes of God. The book kind of leaves us with the question, is he totally wrong? Or, in a world this empty, is an old advertisement the closest thing to a moral authority anyone has left? This moral emptiness, you feel it most, weirdly enough, right at the center of all the action. Gatsby's legendary parties. I mean, they're these massive spectacles, but they're hiding a really deep, desperate loneliness. Seriously, these parties are less like parties and more like industrial operations. Every week, you've got crates and crates of oranges and lemons coming in. He's got a machine that can juice hundreds of them in half an hour. And the guests, they don't even get invited. They just show up. And since they don't know the host, they just make up crazy stories about him. That he was a spy, that he killed a guy. Gatsby's basically a myth in his own house.
Jordan Baker just absolutely nails it with this line. It's so brilliant because it's so true. These huge, chaotic parties are the perfect place to be completely anonymous. You can disappear into the crowd. They create this illusion of intimacy, but nobody is actually connecting with anyone.
So why do it? Why throw these insane parties if he's not even having a good time? Well, it turns out it's all an act. The whole thing, every orchestra, every bottle of champagne, every celebrity who just shows up, it's a giant, elaborate lure. It's a signal fire cast across the water, hoping to catch the attention of one person, Daisy.
All right, now for the last piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this one changes everything. Because everything we've just talked about, the parties, the green light, the Valley of Ashes, we only know about it because one person told us. And our narrator, Nick Carraway, well, he might not be the objective reporter he claims to be.
I mean, on the very first page of the book, Nick tells us his father taught him to reserve all judgments. It's his whole brand. But then what does he do? Instantly, he judges Tom Buchanan as having a cruel body and calls Gatsby, a man he has never even met, gorgeous. Right from the start, he's picking sides.
And by the end, Nick seems to kind of admit it. He has this realization that they were all outsiders, Westerners, who just didn't belong in the East. It's a quiet way of him saying, look, this whole story is told from my specific point of view. He's not just a camera recording events. He's a part of the story, with his own biases.
And this is what makes rereading the book so amazing. You realize you're seeing everything through Nick's filter. He adores Gatsby, and he is completely disgusted by Tom and Daisy. So what we're reading isn't a factual report. It's a memory shaped by love and hate, which means we have to be the detectives and read between the lines to find our own truth.
And that all leads us to this final line. It's one of the most famous endings in all of literature for a reason. It just perfectly captures the whole book. No matter how hard everyone is trying to move forward, trying to reach that green light in the future, they're all just trapped, fighting a current that keeps dragging them right back into the past. In the end, Gatsby's personal tragedy leaves all of us with this really big, unsettling question about the American dream itself. Is it really about building some amazing future? Or are we all, just like Gatsby, stuck in our own boats, fighting a current that's always pulling us back to a past we can never really change?